Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into an epic story of courage, loyalty, and unshakable faith. The story of David and his mighty men. This is a tale of legendary warriors, their heroic battles, and the extraordinary bond they shared with their king. Get ready to be inspired because this story isn't just about history. It's about the timeless lessons we can all learn about bravery, loyalty, and standing firm in the face of impossible odds. Let's jump in. Our story begins in ancient Israel, a land caught in the turmoil of war. David, the man chosen by God to lead his people, was not yet a king. He was a fugitive, hunted by King Saul, and forced to hide in caves and wildernesses. But even in exile, David wasn't alone. A band of warriors, men of incredible skill and courage, gathered around him. These weren't ordinary soldiers. Many of them were outcasts, men with nothing to lose, who saw in David a leader worth following. Over time, they became known as David's mighty men, a group of 37 warriors whose deeds would become the stuff of legend. Let's meet the three most famous among them: Josheb-Basshebeth, Eleazar, and Shammah. These were the elite of the elite, men whose courage and skill in battle were unparalleled. Josheb-Basshebeth, the chief of the three, was known for his extraordinary feat of defeating 800 men with a single spear. Can you imagine that? One man standing alone against a sea of enemies and emerging victorious. Then there was Eleazar, who once stood his ground against the Philistines when the rest of Israel's army fled. He fought so long and so fiercely that his hand literally froze to his sword, refusing to let go even in victory. And finally Shammah, a man whose courage in the face of overwhelming odds is still remembered. In one battle, the Philistines attacked a field of lentils. While others fled, Shammah stood his ground, defending what many would see as insignificant. But for him, it wasn't about the field. It was about standing firm for what God had entrusted to them. But among all the incredible stories of David's mighty men, one stands out as perhaps the most famous: the story of their daring mission to retrieve water for their king. During a fierce battle with the Philistines, David and his men were camped in the wilderness. Bethlehem, David's hometown, was under enemy control, and the Philistines had fortified the area around its well. In the heat of the day, exhausted and thirsty, David expressed a longing. He said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." It wasn't a command, it was just a sigh, a fleeting wish. But his mighty men heard it, and for them, their king's wish was their mission. Imagine this: three warriors, Josheb-Basshebeth, Eleazar, and Shammah, setting out on a mission that seemed almost suicidal. The Philistines weren't just guarding Bethlehem, they were entrenched, their forces strong, and their defenses nearly impenetrable. But these men didn't hesitate. Under the cover of darkness, they crept toward the enemy lines. Every step was filled with danger. The slightest sound could alert the Philistines. As they approached the well, the air was thick with tension. But these men weren't ordinary. They were warriors who had faced death countless times before. And then the inevitable happened. They were spotted. What followed was a battle unlike any other. The three men fought with everything they had, their weapons flashing in the moonlight, their movements precise and deadly. The Philistines outnumbered them, but these warriors were undeterred. They reached the well, drew the water, and began their perilous journey back. Every step was a fight for survival, but their determination was unshakable. They had one goal: to fulfill their king's wish, no matter the cost. When they finally returned to David, battered but victorious, they presented him with the water. Imagine the scene: three exhausted warriors handing their king a gift that represented not just water, but their loyalty, their courage, and their willingness to risk everything for him. And what did David do? He didn't drink it. Instead, he poured it out on the ground as an offering to God. David said, "Far be it from me, Lord, to drink this. Is it not the blood of men who went at the risk of their lives?" For David, this wasn't just water. It was sacred, a symbol of the ultimate sacrifice, and he gave it back to God in an act of worship and gratitude. The story of David and his mighty men isn't just about battles or heroics. It's about loyalty. Loyalty to a leader, loyalty to a cause, and above all, loyalty to God. These men teach us that true greatness isn't about power or fame. It's about standing firm in the face of adversity, protecting what matters most, and serving a purpose greater than ourselves. Josheb-Basshebeth, Eleazar, Shammah, and the rest of the mighty men weren't just warriors. They were men of faith, courage, and conviction whose deeds still inspire us today. The story of David and his mighty men isn't just a tale of ancient battles or extraordinary warriors. It's a powerful testament to the values of courage, loyalty, and selflessness that transcend time. These men weren't superheroes in the traditional sense. They were human, just like us, with fears, doubts, and challenges. But what set them apart was their unwavering commitment to their king, their cause, and their faith. They stood together, facing insurmountable odds, not because they sought fame or glory, but because they believed in something greater than themselves. Take a moment to reflect on their actions. Josheb-Basshebeth, the leader of the trio, could have let fear or exhaustion stop him when faced with 800 enemies, but he chose to stand his ground, turning what seemed like certain defeat into a legendary victory. Eleazar didn't give up when others fled. He gripped his sword tightly and fought with every ounce of strength he had until the victory was secured. And Shammah, defending a simple field of lentils, reminds us that it's not the size of the battlefield that matters, but the conviction with which you fight. And then there's their collective act of loyalty, breaking through enemy lines to fetch water for David. To many, this might seem like a small gesture. After all, it was just water. But for David's mighty men, it wasn't about the water itself. It was about honoring their leader, fulfilling his wish, and showing their devotion through action. They risked everything for what some might see as a trivial task. Yet it was this very act that immortalized their loyalty and bravery in the pages of history. David's response to their sacrifice speaks volumes. Instead of drinking the water, he poured it out as an offering to God. In doing so, he demonstrated profound respect for their sacrifice, acknowledging that their loyalty and courage were sacred. For David, the water wasn't just a drink. It was a symbol of their blood, their lives, and their unwavering dedication. By giving it back to God, he showed that true leadership is about humility, gratitude, and recognizing the value of those who stand by you. This story resonates deeply because it's about more than just ancient warriors. It's about all of us. Life presents its battles, both big and small, and like David's mighty men, we're often faced with choices. Do we stand firm or do we retreat? Do we take action for what we believe in, even when it's risky or inconvenient? Do we show loyalty and dedication to those who lead us, love us, or stand beside us? David's mighty men teach us that greatness is not measured by the size of your accomplishments, but by the heart and conviction you bring to your actions. They remind us that even small gestures, when done with love and loyalty, can carry profound meaning. Their courage inspires us to fight our own battles, no matter how daunting, and to protect the people and principles that matter most to us. And let's not forget the underlying message of faith woven through this story. These warriors didn't fight alone. They fought with the knowledge that God was with them. Their victories weren't just the result of skill or strategy, but of divine intervention, proving that when we place our trust in something greater than ourselves, even the impossible becomes possible. So as we reflect on the legacy of David and his mighty men, let us ask ourselves, how can we embody their courage in our own lives? How can we show the same loyalty and devotion to the people we care about? And how can we find strength and faith, even when the odds are stacked against us? The story of David's mighty men challenges us to rise above fear, to stand firm in our convictions, and to live a life of purpose and meaning. Whether it's standing up for what's right, supporting someone we love, or persevering through difficult times, we can all draw inspiration from their example. In the end, the story isn't just about ancient warriors, it's about us. It's a reminder that bravery, loyalty, and faith are timeless virtues, and that in the face of life's greatest challenges, we all have the potential to be mighty. So what will your legacy be? How will you show courage in your own life? The answers lie not in grand gestures, but in the everyday choices we make to live with purpose, integrity, and faith. Thank you for watching this story. If it inspired you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales of courage and faith. And remember, no matter what battles you're facing, you too can be a mighty warrior.